Hello, my friends. May the Force be with you. I woke up to incredible Star Wars news and more because Star Wars Celebration has kicked off in London and all kinds of details are starting to trickle out. Of course, we're getting news on existing projects like Andor. The cast of Andor was at the event and they talked about the making of the first season and they teased some stuff about what we can expect with Andor Season 2. We don't know when it's coming, but it was super cool to see Denise Gough and Kyle Soller and Genevieve O'Reilly and Andy Serkis and, of course, Cassian Andor himself, Diego Luna there, along with Tony Gilroy, the creator and executive producer and showrunner of this incredible show. I cannot wait for Season 2 of Andor. We had cast members from The Mandalorian on hand at Star Wars Celebration as well. Katie Sackhoff was there talking about her relationship with Bo-Katan, and we had Carl Weathers there talking about directing an episode of The Mandalorian, which is so freaking cool. And of course, Giancarlo Esposito was there, kind of spoiling the fact that we're probably going to see Moff Gideon pretty soon in The Mandalorian, which is going to be super cool. I've really been enjoying this new season of The Mandalorian. But we also got to find out a little bit more about the stuff that's in the works for Star Wars. There are a couple of shows that are headed our way. There's The Acolyte, which is headed up by Leslie Headland, who has worked on Russian Doll, which is a great show if you haven't seen that one. And it's going to have a really cool cast. We've got Daphne Keane, who played X-23 in the Logan movie. She's going to be a part of this. Also, Amandla Stenberg, who showed up in costume for Star Wars Celebration, which is great. Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game is going to be part of The Acolyte and part of the Star Wars universe, which is so cool to see. We also saw our new Chewbacca, Eunice Suotamo, I hope I didn't butcher his name, up on stage with a new actor in The Acolyte named Dean Charles Chapman. Now, I don't know who everybody is playing. There is a teaser trailer that was played at Star Wars Celebration. I'm not going to show anything here, but of course, it's been leaked on the internet. I took a look at it. It looks like there's going to be a lot of action in that one. And that one's coming later this year. And there's also another Star Wars show coming out next year called Skeleton Crew, which is headed up by Jude Law. And again, someone has leaked some of the footage that has appeared at Star Wars Celebration. I'm not going to be showing any of that here, but what has been described about Skeleton Crew is that it's a much more kid-friendly experience in the vein of the Amblin movies like E.T., which is pretty cool. So there's going to be a lot of Force-sensitive kids and kids that get caught up in a big, grand Star Wars adventure. Jude Law expressed at Star Wars Celebration how excited he is to be a part of the Star Wars galaxy. I can't wait to see how this show turns out. Now, we did get a trailer for one Star Wars TV show. This is Ahsoka coming out in August of this year on Disney+. Rosario Dawson is reprising her role as the live-action Ahsoka, and she's joined by live-action versions of Sabine and Hera from the Star Wars Rebels TV show. Now, we haven't seen Ezra in Ahsoka yet, but it's likely that that's going to be happening. We also see Chopper is in the show as well, so this is really going to play as connective tissue from what Dave Filoni was doing across Clone Wars and Rebels, and now into Ahsoka's own TV show. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing Hera, and Natasha Liu Bordizzo is going to be playing Sabine, and Hayden Christensen is going to reprise his role as Darth Vader. But in this trailer, we're also introduced to a new Dark Force follower played by Ray Stevenson. You can tell he's evil by his red lightsaber. We don't know what the character is or, how he sort of factors into the whole Star Wars timeline, but it looks really freaking cool. I think Rosario Dawson was just superb casting as Ahsoka. I loved what she did in The Mandalorian, and we saw her for a little bit in The Book of Boba Fett, and I can't wait to see her in her own show in August. But we did get some other incredible news, mainly the fact that new Star Wars movies are in the works, and one of them is going to be directed by Dave Filoni, yes, who is going to be culminating all of the incredible work that's been happening across the Star Wars live-action TV series, and they're all threaded with the animated work that Dave Filoni has overseen. So he's going to be making a big theatrical, cinematic story with a lot of the characters that we've seen across all of these shows, which I can't wait to see. We also have learned that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny director James Mangold, also directed Logan, an incredible director, is going to be creating a brand new Star Wars movie set 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga and the sort of known Star Wars universe that we've seen across movies and shows. So we're going to go right back to the roots of the Force. I think it's going to be called something like Dawn of the Force. and there's still a ton to learn about this project, but it's incredibly exciting. Who knows what kinds of technology is going to be available in the time period of the movie, but I expect it to be something really finely tuned and beautifully written. James Mangold makes awesome films, and I couldn't be more excited about the fact that he's going back and kind of drafting a new history for Star Wars. And we also found out that there's going to be another Star Wars movie directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, and Daisy Ridley is going to be a part of this new film, and it's set 15 years after the rise of Skywalker, and Rey will be training a whole new group of Jedi warriors, which is going to be very interesting, and of course some new evil is going to be festering and coming up. I'm excited about this, though. I've always loved the character of Rey. I actually loved the characters of the most recent trilogy. I loved Rey and Finn and Poe and Kylo Ren. There were so many cool elements in that last trilogy, but it went all over the place. We don't need to relitigate what happened to the last Star Wars trilogy. I'm excited to see Daisy Ridley back, though. She really gave it her all, and I think that the character is really fun, and hopefully the movie is awesome. And honestly, that was tons of incredible Star Wars news for the first day of Star Wars Celebration, and I'll come back with some further thoughts on new things that get revealed. I noticed that Star Wars Jedi Survivor was getting a big plug throughout the day, which is super cool, so I suspect we're going to get to see a ton more on the game at this event. So I'll come back and talk about that, but the thing that got me the most excited today had nothing to do with Star Wars. The brand new trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny dropped, and we get to see a lot more into the life of an Indiana Jones that's retiring from his job, and also the obsession that the man has to reclaim the Dial of Destiny. And of course, Indiana Jones's drive to go and get that Dial of Destiny is discovered by some former foes, some Nazis played by Mads Mikkelsen, and we also see that Phoebe Waller-Bridge may not just be a super nice ally with Indiana Jones in this new trailer as well. There's some conniving going on with his goddaughter, which I think looks really interesting. And we see a little bit more of the de-aging process of Harrison Ford, so we see him as a younger man, but we also see him kind of beat up and older and kind of sensitive to the fact that he's got to say goodbye to the things that he loves. Or does he? Because now I'm starting to think that this Dial of Destiny might be a key to the future of Indiana Jones, because we've heard murmurs that there's going to be an Indiana Jones television show on Disney Plus or some kind of a series. And there's also been statements from Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall and Harrison Ford himself that Harrison Ford is the only Indiana Jones.
I'm Indiana Jones.
So when you're gone, it's gone.
When I'm gone, he's gone. It's easy.
And when we start digging into this process of de-aging Harrison Ford, isn't it possible that they're going to create some new Indiana Jones projects with this younger version of Indiana Jones and fill in some gaps over the long sort of timeline of his life? I mean, it seems like theoretically possible for sure if Harrison Ford is game to do that and give his likeness rights to Lucasfilm for this character. And I know, we all know how much he loves this character. I'm thinking it's possible we might get some more Indiana Jones adventures, which is awesome and insane, and it's kind of this crazy world that we live in, right? It's unbelievable. But Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny looks so freaking fantastic to me. It's obviously, tapping into a lot of nostalgia and a lot of emotion. I get, chills down my spine when I hear the music and I see this actor in this role, and it just looks like it's been crafted with so much love. Again, James Mangold is the director, and he did an amazing job honoring the work of Hugh Jackman in Logan. I think he's going to do the exact same thing here with Dial of Destiny. It comes out June 30th. They also dropped the official poster for the movie, and man, this looks so freaking cool. I can't wait to get that framed and put into the basement. I have to make room somewhere, somehow. It's got to fit down here. But we got a lot to be excited for the future of Star Wars and Indiana Jones at Star Wars Celebration. I'll come back with some new content for you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel, hitting that subscribe button and hitting that thumbs up button if you dig the video. We'll see you soon. And until then, play forever.